Few contemporary artists have stirred as much fascination and controversy as Damien Hirst. From sharks floating in formaldehyde to diamond-encrusted skulls, Hirst has spent decades shocking, dazzling, and dividing audiences. Love him or hate him, his exhibitions have become cultural lightning rods, asking us to confront life, death, money, and belief itself. Let's journey through the most important Damien Hirst art exhibits, the shows that defined his career and cemented him as one of the most influential and polarizing artists of our time. Frieze, London, 1988, the beginning of the YBAs. It all began in a disused warehouse in London's Docklands. In 1988, while still a student at Goldsmiths, Hirst organized Frieze, a group show featuring his own work and that of his peers. The exhibition was raw, rebellious, and unlike anything the London art scene had seen. Among the pieces, Hirst's early spot paintings, rows of perfectly painted colored dots that reduced abstraction to a clinical, almost pharmaceutical logic. But more important than the works was the moment. Frieze launched the Young British Artists, YBAs, a generation that would dominate the 1990s art world. It caught the attention of collector Charles Saatchi, who became Hirst's most important early patron. Frieze wasn't just a student show, it was the start of a movement. The physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living, 1991. 3 years later, Hirst unveiled the work that would make him famous, a 14-foot tiger shark suspended in formaldehyde. Commissioned by Saatchi, this piece wasn't part of a traditional gallery exhibition, it was the exhibition. The shark shocked audiences. Was this art, science, or a grotesque stunt? For Hirst, it was about confronting mortality directly. Viewers came face to face with death, preserved and floating before them. This single artwork didn't just define Hirst's career, it defined an era. It became the symbol of the YBAs and their willingness to blur the line between spectacle and art. Some went mad, some ran away. Serpentine Gallery, 1994. In 1994, Hirst curated another landmark exhibition. Some went mad, some ran away at London's Serpentine Gallery. The show included not only Hirst's own work, but also that of other YBAs. His standout contribution was Mother and Child, Divided, a cow and calf sliced in half and displayed in 4 glass tanks of formaldehyde. It was visceral, unsettling, and unforgettable. Hirst was no longer just shocking for the sake of it. He was staging meditations on life, death, and the human condition. The exhibition solidified his reputation as the enfant terrible of British art. Sensation, Royal Academy of Arts, London, 1997. If there's one exhibition that captured the spirit of 1990s Britain, it was Sensation. Curated from Charles Saatchi's collection, the show featured many YBAs, but Hirst was its undisputed star. His pieces, including installations of medicine cabinets and more preserved animals, caused outrage and fascination in equal measure. For critics, Sensation was proof of the collapse of traditional boundaries in art. For fans, it was exhilarating, a reminder that art could still shock and matter. The exhibition traveled to Berlin and New York, sparking protests abroad. But for Hirst, it was the moment he became not just a British phenomenon, but an international celebrity. Romance in the Age of Uncertainty. White Cube Gallery, London, 2003. By the early 2000s, Hirst had begun exploring religion as much as mortality. His 2003 show at White Cube, Romance in the Age of Uncertainty, featured works that combined crucifixes, medical imagery, and religious symbols. One striking piece, The Child's Dream, displayed a giant anatomical model of a baby, while other works featured painted butterflies arranged like stained glass windows. The show marked Hirst's shift toward exploring faith, not just the inevitability of death, but the human search for meaning beyond it. For the Love of God, White Cube, London, 2007. If one artwork epitomizes Hirst's obsession with mortality and wealth, it's For the Love of God, a platinum cast of a human skull encrusted with 8,601 diamonds. Unveiled at White Cube in 2007, the piece was valued at £50 million, instantly making headlines worldwide. Some saw it as a cynical cash grab, others viewed it as the ultimate memento mori, a glittering reminder that death comes for all, no matter how rich. The exhibition raised questions that continue to haunt Hirst's reputation. Is he critiquing capitalism, or is he the ultimate example of it? Beautiful Inside My Head Forever, Sotheby's Auction, 2008. In 2008, Hirst bypassed galleries entirely and sold 218 works directly through Sotheby's in a sale titled Beautiful Inside My Head Forever. The auction included new works, animals and tanks, spot paintings, spin paintings, and fetched over £111 million, setting records for a living artist. The timing was uncanny. The auction took place just as Lehman Brothers collapsed, signaling the start of the global financial crisis. Critics debated whether Hirst had exposed the absurdities of the art market or fully embraced them. Either way, the sale was historic. It redefined how artists could control and profit from their own work. Treasures from the Wreck of the Unbelievable, Venice, 2017. In 2017, Hirst staged perhaps his most ambitious and divisive exhibition, Treasures from the Wreck of the Unbelievable, shown across two Venetian museums, Palazzo Grassi and Punta della Dogana. The show presented hundreds of objects supposedly recovered from a mythical ancient shipwreck, statues, relics, coins, some encrusted with coral, others referencing pop culture, like a sculpture of Mickey Mouse. It was massive, cinematic, and polarizing. Some praised it as a bold act of storytelling. Others dismissed it as kitsch spectacle. But once again, Hirst proved his ability to dominate headlines and spark debate. Why these exhibits matter. From the shark in Formaldehyde to the glittering skull, from Sotheby's to Venice, Damien Hirst's exhibitions have consistently pushed the boundaries of what art can be. Frieze launched a movement. The shark became a 1990s icon. Mother and child, divided, forced viewers to confront life and death head-on. Sensation made him a global star. For the Love of God and Beautiful Inside My Head Forever blurred the line between art and commerce. Treasures from the Wreck of the Unbelievable showed his flair for myth-making on a grand scale. Whether you see him as a genius or a provocateur, Hirst has made sure you can't ignore him. His exhibitions don't just display art, they create events, debates, and cultural flashpoints. Damien Hirst once said, "Art's about life, and it can't really be about anything else." There isn't anything else. So, which Damien Hirst exhibition would you most want to experience in person? The Shark in 1991, the Diamond Skull in 2007, or the Grand Venetian Fantasy of 2017? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the artists who changed the way we see the world.